while looking at the resources of a company, it's important, very, very important, to look at what is its core competence. Core competence is a very interesting topic which was elaborated some decades back by Gary Hamel and C.K. Prahalad in the US, when they gave the example of the Honda company, which long time ago was a manufacturer of engines, and being a manufacturer of engines, it decided to move into products which used these engines, and thus moved into automobiles, moved into boats, moved into various kinds of products which used engines. So the core competence of Honda was the production of high quality engines. Now this way, every company has a core competence, or rather every company should have a core competence. Every successful company certainly has a core competence. Core competence may sometimes not be within the confines of the company. The core competence may be a perception about the company which is common amongst consumers. For instance, the Tata Group as a group has the core competence of reliability, of trust, right? Now this is a very important competence that the group possesses. When the core competence of the company is valued by the customer, this core competence becomes a key success factor in the operations of the company. For instance, let's look at a company which manufactures car engines, right? This company manufactures car engines of a very high quality. But these car engines are so exorbitantly priced that they are not really valued by the customer. The customer prefers a more cost-effective car engine, which is efficient but is also economical, right? So the core competence of the company becomes a key success factor if the core competence is valued by the consumer. And third point is that the core competence becomes a distinctive competence when competitors find it difficult to copy that competence. Let us look at companies like Hindustan Lever or companies like Procter and Gamble, right? Now these are companies who create products of very high quality, right? And that distinctive, that competence, that core competence, the core competence of creating products of very high quality, right, is difficult for their competitors to match. And because it is difficult for their competitors to match them, therefore these competences become distinctive competences of the company. A company brings in a lot of resources. A company takes in a lot of resources and it produces a product through performing a whole range of activities. how does the company create value? The company creates value by ensuring that the activities that it performs in converting resources are directed towards the manufacture of products which are valued by the customer. The company creates value when the activities of the company convert resources into products which are valued by the customer. Now, the company incurs costs. The company incurs costs of various kinds. The company incurs costs for acquiring resources. The company incurs costs in performing activities. The costs incurred in acquiring resources could be costs incurred for raw material, costs incurred for hiring personnel, costs incurred for power, costs incurred for water, right? All these are costs. And the costs of activities are the costs of setting up a factory, for instance, right? When the company sets up a factory, there are various costs that go into it. There is the cost, there is the interest that the company has to pay on the loans. There is the cost for the land on which the factory has been set up, right? So the combination of all these costs, right, is the cost incurred by the company in making those products. What the customer pays for those products is the value that is created by the company. The difference between these two is the margin. So we must look at margin not as something which is immoral. The margin is something which is a reward which the company gets from the customer for creating value for the customer.